Welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network, coming to you from the TeacherCast studios since 2011. Join us each week as we bring you the latest educational news, EdTech updates, and hottest interviews with today's most influential leaders in education. And now, for your host, Jeff Bradbury.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network. My name is Jeff Bradbury. Thank you so much for joining us today and making TeacherCast your home for professional development. This is TeacherCast Podcast episode number 215, and I have a fantastic show for you today. Today, we're going to be learning all about a fantastic math application that has a special offer for all teachers out there, especially in the times that we're living today. Speaking of which, I hope you guys had a great holiday and are doing well. I know myself, we're going into our 5th week of distance learning. I'd like to hear from you guys, learn what's going on. And if you guys are interested in learning about what's going on in our world here, you can, of course, check out everything over on teachercast.net. And if you're a tech coach, we are now doing weekly tech coach meetings. Would love to have you guys be a part of our TeacherCast Tech Coaches Network. We meet every single Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern. Have about 70, 75 tech coaches or so on the call throughout the hour. Would love to have you guys join us. And if you guys know anybody in professional development, please feel free to reach out, invite us. You can, of course, find us on Twitter at TeacherCast and check out everything over on teachercast.net. My guest today is the founder and CEO of ORIGO Education, who's been serving educators for over 25 years. I want to bring on Mr. James Burnett. James, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
G'day, Jeff. How are you? Yes, I had to get up early for this. It's now 7 a.m. in Australia.
Thank you so much for your time. And right off the bat, let me just ask, how are things in Australia? How is life? How are you guys adjusting to what we're calling here in the States the new normal?
I hope it's not the new normal, but we're doing the same as you. We're isolating. We've been doing this probably a little longer than you guys, and as a result, we have certainly flattened the curve. We're coming out the other end, so there's good news for you all. If you just keep doing what you've been asked to do, stay isolated, then we will get to the other side of this.
Now, we're looking at about a month or so. Some people have been doing it for more than a month. How long has Australia been affected? How did the news break? What has life been like before, during, and after all of this for you?
In much the same time as it has in the US, because I flew home from the US. My last trip was, I think I got home on the 8th of February. At that stage, it was just talk of it. There was more talk back home, as I know, because when I was in America, I was reading news articles about Australians hoarding toilet paper, would you believe it? And I got home to all that. Yes, we did not have much toilet paper around. But as a result, that our Prime Minister was moving very quickly to make changes and offer stimulus packages way back in early February, for companies like my own and for individuals as well. So, we're just dealing with this, new temporary norm.
Now, tell us a little bit about ORIGO Education. You guys have a fantastic math curriculum for teachers and for students. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. First of all, I founded the company with my co-founder back in 1995. And we're a small company. We only have about 100 employees across a few countries. And we just we teach math conceptually. That means with understanding. And we develop thinking and reasoning skills. So we were one of the first. Well, I think we were the first one to develop a core program for the Common Core when it came out. And I say that because similarly with this crisis, if you like, I believe we're the first to develop from the ground up a solution for this new world that we are in. So what does that look like? It's about providing instruction for children. We haven't just gone out, as far as I can tell, a lot of companies will, as they should, they just quickly made their content available for people to sign in, free trials, use this now, get as many people using their content as possible. No, we were able to work around the clock because I got people in different time zones around the world, and we developed a program in 2 weeks. So one unique program for the US and one unique program for Australia, specific to the needs of those areas. And it involves instruction, not just practice, and that's most important.
Now, you're here today to share some pretty big news that you're offering something pretty amazing to the teachers. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, that's our at-home solution. So ORIGO at home, it is free. It does not require a login, which I think is important. We don't want your email address. Just get on there and use this content. You hear them talking about flattening the curve for coronavirus. Well, you need to flatten the curve of forgetting. There's lots of research that says students will lose a lot of learning, a lot of their understanding by having these long breaks. And in the Northern Hemisphere, as you know, you had this extremely long summer break. Well, now this is going to be extended. So you have to get on and start teaching children. Parents will need to do this at home. Teachers will need to make sure they're actually providing instruction, not just what I would call practice. That's what it's about. So it's 20 to 30 minutes of instruction every day, and we're rolling 1 week at a time until this ends. And honestly, I think it's going to go on to the fall, and there's actually now talk, I just read yesterday, there's now talk about going even beyond that. Some schools, some states are talking about not going back even immediately in the fall. It might be an extended summer break.
That's a scary thing. We have a chance to talk to tech coaches from around the country and get a chance to really see what's going on. And even, a lot of the people who have been on the TeacherCast podcast recently, we're looking at, are we going back in September? And even if we do we have a contingency plan in case this happens in October, November, December? I got to tell you, James, that's a scary concept right there.
It's a scary. I feel for parents. I'm a father of 3 myself. Mm-hmm. I feel for parents, and I really feel for teachers. It is a scary thought, and for a number of reasons. But you really need to. I think teachers just need to pick the big ideas, as we are. So what are the big ideas? They can't be attempting to cover everything. I mean, I'm K or pre-K 6 mathematics. That's all we do. So. I'm looking at the big ideas there. What are the big ideas we have to address to help maintain their concepts and skills over this period? And you can't do it all. If teachers attempt to do that all, I'll go crazy. So it's just a matter of picking those big ideas, focusing on those, and see what you can to provide instruction over those weeks. And I fear the worst, I have to be honest. So I do think that this may get extended into September, October.
Well, somebody who has 6-year-old triplets like I do, and we're trying to keep them active, we're trying to keep them occupied, we're trying to keep them off the ceiling, frankly. Parents like us here aren't in the classrooms. Maybe we know the math skills, but we're not quite adept on teaching the math skills. The website is ORIGO Education. That's ORIGO education.com /at home. And as you said, free resources pre-K to 6. That's right in my wheelhouse. I'm looking forward to doing this stuff with my kids. Talk to us a little bit about the program here. Is this something that parents can sign up for? Is this something that teachers can sign up for?
Both.
How are we looking to go to the site and sign up for this?
We've got almost 6 digits in people who have signed up. So almost 100,000 people have signed up. And it is both, I can tell you, Jeff. So a large number of parents, we don't see that data, but we just from people talking to us and through social media, we're on Twitter, of course, too. So a lot of parents, and I remember one tweet, one lady says, this doesn't even feel like mathematics. And that's the secret of it, because that's the new norm. And if you're teaching, if teachers, I know your audience are teachers, their challenge is to try and teach children, but the children are with their parents. So in the subject of mathematics, there's so much anxiety anyway. And now the parents are struggling because they're seeing this math another way, which they're not used to seeing. And so you're almost providing instruction for both parents and children. And then that's why we use a lot of videos to help parents understand, what is this new style of math? Why are we doing it this way? So it's where, I think more in a unique situation than maybe some other subject areas like that.
And one of the things that I love about your site and about your platform is you're not only able to help out both teachers and parents, but you also provide a bunch of amazing resources. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you can find on ORIGO Insights.
On ORIGO at home, you mean? Yeah. You'll find online games, but our belief is to teach mathematics with discourse. So learning is a social process. So our games, it's not going to provide, because you're on a device, the device is not going to correct you if you're wrong. it requires the person you're working with to have a discussion with you. So the games will help you. It's essentially a digital game, and you talk it through with someone. In this case, it's either the teacher or the parent. You're going to find that. You're going to find problem-solving activities, so applications of mathematics, hands-on activities. We'll get the children going outside, and you'll do activities outside or using something outside to generate the mathematics. There's a routine, by the way. We have a structured routine for the week. So Monday is always a share, as a video involved. Or we might be sharing a story, a book, digital book, albeit. And then we have a hands-on day. I think it's Tuesday. I can't remember the order of these things. We have a problem-solving day, our applications, and we have a practice day, and we have games as well. So to make mathematics engaging. So it's all those routines, and we have to draw on, we turn this around in 2 weeks, so we're drawing on our full bag of resources to provide engaging activities and make children want to do mathematics. That's the challenge you have. I was just out walking yesterday, dodging kangaroos here because we live in a rural area, and I met a new neighbour. Seriously, did. We met a new neighbour, and she says, "I got 5 children at home." 5 children at home, and she's trying to support those children, and they just want to have an extended break. We're in Easter autumn break, we call it here, and they just want to have an extended break. So she's trying to get them all just doing mathematics, and this is such a challenge. So you really got to engage them. You've got to have things that they want to do.
It's not easy, all right. And I'm always gonna go back to the fact that my amazing wife is sitting here trying to do kindergarten with 3 kids. We only have 2 computers. Not everybody has 1 computer per kid. This stuff here has to be active. It has to be engaging. I'm kind of sitting here laughing. I know you can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm watching a ninja frog look at a ladybug on your site here. You've got an amazing free game here called Num Fu. I'm looking forward to putting my kid on this. Num Fu. Tell me a little bit about this.
Num Fu is they were actually developed a couple of years ago to practice basic fact strategies. So if you have parents listening, they might, or even high school teachers or secondary school teachers, they may think of tables. Right? We all learnt tables as kids. Elementary teachers call them number facts. So those Num Fu apps, there's one for each operation. The 4 operations are for practicing basic facts, but they're structured according to the strategies. It's not structured to a traditional way that we all learned when we were kids. It's structured according to strategies. The strategies that good contemporary standards, be it the Common Core, the Virginia State Standards, the Texas TEKS, just what good contemporary standards address these days, like the count-on strategy, the use doubles, make 10, doubling for multiplication. We focus on those strategies. So we're addressing the contemporary approach to mathematics.
If you're looking to do something amazing with your students, again, pre-K to 6 years old, check out all the stuff over at origoeducation.com. James, I want to ask you here, now that you're saying Australia is on the other end of the curve, I still believe right now as we're recording this, the U.S. is still going up our side.
Yeah, I agree.
What are you seeing as the entrance plan? I know we've already talked about the fact that maybe September we're still going to be out, but is life coming back to normal? Are malls and parks opening? What does this look like when people actually can open their doors and step foot outside?
At this stage, we're not talking about that. We're right at Easter, as you know, around the world. So this is where we traditionally go out and we camp and do those sorts of things. So even though we're coming out the other side, our state and federal government's telling us, do not go anywhere. That's the number one thing. This is the time to be more vigilant. Do not start, taking your foot off the brake. We have to clamp down hard and stay inside. And I expect this is going to be here for at least another month. Schools here are talking about going back at the end of 2nd term, start of 3rd term. So we obviously, your summer break aligns to our winter break. So at the end of July, in the depth of our winter, which is not very cold, by the way, we are talking about coming back. There's also talk about extending all the way through to the end of 3rd term. So 3rd term is right through to our spring break, which is around September. So that's what I am anticipating. And I have to think carefully about that as a company because of the support that we've got to continue to offer to parents and teachers. So this at-home solution, I suspect will go that long maybe even further. I really don't know, Jeff.
You know, I sometimes forget that, right? Like we're looking at it saying, let's just get the school year over with. Let's finish this thing up. Let's make a call and run with it. But I forget people in your position in Australia, you're getting hit at the beginning of the school year, right?
Yeah. We just started our school year. We're just in the first term. So, we had one term of schooling. We will potentially lose the next two school terms, next two quarters. So it's going to be a very short year for us. I'm more concerned about the US because, let me explain, if I'm not talking mathematics for a minute, if summer's extended, if your summer break, if you like, is extended through to September, October, if I was in government, I'm certainly no medical expert, but I'd be reluctant to let schools come back in the depth of your winter. I mean, that's why the Northern Hemisphere, if you look at anything global, and in Australia we get a lot of international news, it's the Northern Hemisphere has been hit hard with this coronavirus. I mean, we've only had 60 deaths all in our whole country. But we're in our summer. So in the summer months, your immune system's stronger, you're out getting sunshine. Now, I can't imagine that they're going to let the schools go back in the depth of the winter. So if they don't get back in September, October, there's another school of thought that they may not get it back at all until next summer,
right? In
2021. I mean, that's a scary thought. So keep that in mind. You don't think short term, despite what you're hearing from governments. Make your own judgment about what's happened.
A year and a half at home in quarantine with the triplets.
Oh my God! How do you do it? Seriously.
I don't know if I can answer that one. James, look, there's obviously, we could talk forever about the coronavirus. Yeah. That's not why we're here today. We're here to celebrate the great things that's happening in education. One more time, where can we get a hold of these great resources that you guys have to offer from ORIGO Education?
Yes, you got to go to origoeducation.com/at-home, one word. On there, you'll probably see two flags. You're obviously going to choose the US flag, get in there, access that content, and it will be there as long as it's needed. Let's hope it's only maybe 4 months' work. It could be 6 months' work. Let's hope for the best. But as a business, I need to plan for the worst.
Well, thank you so much, James, for coming on. And, if this thing does stretch out, I would love to have you come back on. Maybe we can share some of the great resources, have a few teachers on and talk all about how we can do this. Because, math education, everybody, obviously that's one of the most important things. Every single day, I take each of my kids out. We do our numbers. We do our letters. We're trying the best that we can, both as teachers, but also as parents who are trying to raise our kid. We want to know how you guys are doing it. If you're a teacher, parent, anybody out there who's working through this, and believe me, it should be everybody, we would love to hear from you guys. Reach out to us over on teachercast.net. Find us on Twitter @teachercast. And we would love to keep in touch with you guys. And let us know that you've tried out ORIGO Education. I think it's an amazing platform. I'm looking forward to continuing working with it with our students here. And I can't say thanks to James and everybody else who's out there in the ed tech world for making these resources available. So, James, one more time, thanks so much for joining us today and being a part of our TeacherCast family.
Thanks, Jeff. Look forward to seeing you again.
And of course, we want to say thank you to you guys for checking out the TeacherCast podcast and making us a part of your professional development. This is episode number 215. You can find out more over on teachercast.net. And on behalf of James and everybody here in the TeacherCast Educational Network, my name is Jeff Bradbury, reminding you to keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.
You've been listening to the TeacherCast Educational Network, hosted by Jeff Bradbury. Please reach out to the show with all of your questions on Twitter @TeacherCast or online at www.teachercast.net. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And please take a moment to write a review in the App Store.